right, here we are talking about getting yourself set up in the kitchen. And this is something that allows you to really move from our home kitchen attitude into more of a professional style setting. And this is a chance for you to exercise that alter ego piece that we worked on in Module 1 and really come into your job as a professional holistic chef. And what is kind of the first thing that we attack when we start to transition?
Yeah, so first thing is you want to make sure that you have a chef jacket or an apron or both that you love. So looking into the material for sure, making sure that it's breathable. You tend to wear your apron in the summer.
Yeah, I like wearing lighter clothing, obviously, if the environment is warmer. It depends on the event that I'm working. I like to wear my chef jacket when I tend to want to be more professional or just a little bit more what I call in my power, whereas my apron is a little bit more on the relaxed side. It is my typical attire for my day-to-day in my clients' homes, but if we're going to an event or if we're really going to be seen by the public, we advise everybody on the team to wear a jacket. And even more so professional of a look would be attaching an apron to your jacket as well, so that you can then add in a tea towel or a cloth right onto your hip side, so that when your hands get dirty, you have just a quick tool to keep them clean. You do not want to be rubbing your hands all over your apron. It's like
or your pants.
Or your pants. It's like a number one rookie sign of an inexperienced chef. So start to get really comfortable with working with a towel on you, and just let this be the first thing. You're walking into the kitchen, you're ready to start work, and you put on your costume. That is just a non-negotiable that allows you to really step away from whatever was going on in your day into a professional setting, ready to work, ready to crush it.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing to mention too is you might want to have a lot of different styles of jackets and aprons. You can have things that have long sleeves. You can have things that have short sleeves.
Like a t-shirt style.
A t-shirt style. Sometimes collars are nice. Sometimes it's nice to have apron pockets on the front. There are so many available options out there. Find something that works for you, and don't be afraid to have a few different options based on the style of work that you do, or maybe the different events that you might encounter over time.
Definitely. And the other thing to talk about aprons and jackets is always make sure when you're stepping into the kitchen that they're 100% clean. So you want to make sure that there's no debris, no hair, no pet hair. If you do live with a pet, always make sure to give it a good lint roll, and also make sure to not wash them with your regular clothing, and also with not in the same wash as your towels.
Linens.
Because you'll end up with all the little towel bits all over your jackets and aprons. Yeah.
So light colors with light colors, towels and rags with towels and rags.
Laundry 101.
Yeah, Laundry 101, which a lot of people actually don't know, especially, there's a lot of people that don't know that. So make sure that you feel comfortable in your attire too. In terms of clothing on the top, if you're wearing aprons, obviously use your discretion in terms of what's appropriate for the environment that you're working on, whether you have short sleeves or long sleeves or no sleeves. And then also pants. What kind of pants do you like to work in?
I don't mind wearing jeans as long as I'm not wearing a belt, because that's really uncomfortable here with my apron. And nothing super tight, but you also don't want your pants falling down.
And nothing super loose, because it draws in a safety hazard of catching on cupboard doors or stepping on your pants. So make sure that they're just well-fitted pants and that they're comfortable, whether that be a pair of leggings or a pair of jeans or a pair of shorts, whatever it is. Shorts are not so recommended. However, sometimes your environment is slightly casual that a apron might work for it, but typically some type of longer pant that's just not too flowy, not too loose.
And you can buy online if you'd like to. You can buy actual like chef pants. They're very breathable and loose.
And they oftentimes will go over your regular pants too. That's always an option. So there's unlimited options. Find something that is comfortable, appropriate, and that works for you.
Yeah.
What next?
Well, hair is a big one, so we need to make sure that our hair is tied off our face. You'll also want to make sure that you have your hair in either a bun or a braid, so not like a loose ponytail that could be
falling out.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything getting all over you.
Yeah.
And also in the food that you're cooking or just anywhere in the kitchen.
Hair is a big one.
Hair is a big one. Again, reputation is everything, and you can go 100 times with cooking for a client and having no hair in their food, but the one time you do it is the one time that they will remember.
Yeah.
So be extra cautious with your own hair and also any pet hair. This is also a consideration if you're choosing to do an in-home model for cooking. Whether that be your client's house or your own home, if they have a pet too and it's running around and it's getting everywhere, it is something you might want to bring up with your client as well. If you do have a hair misalignment while you're working, do not take it in the kitchen to fix it. You want to go to the washroom and make sure that you fix it outside of the kitchen area so that you don't risk any of that hair going anywhere.
Yeah. Also, if it's something you are feeling super nervous about, you can always just get hair nets. A lot of people wear like baseball caps or even a chef hat. You're certainly welcome to do that. Whatever makes you feel the most comfortable in your role.
We really should have like demoed having a giant white chef.
And hair nets.
And hair nets. I had to work in a restaurant where we wore hair nets all day, every day.
And the guys wear beard nets.
Beard nets, yeah. So just remember that safety and being overly cautious is important in this style of work, and you really want to raise your professionalism for when you are cooking for clients. Yeah. All right, next thing. What else?
So yeah, hands, washing hands are a big one. So first you'll want to remove all of your rings before you get into the kitchen, just to make sure there's no bacteria, or if you're doing any like meat handling, you want to make sure that you can get your hands super clean. In terms of nails, so it's better to have no nail polish at all, especially no nail polish that can chip off and get into the food.
If you are going to use nail polish, you can wear shellac, if anything. Again, we recommend not wearing nail polish. However, if you do, at least that's one that's not going to chip. You want to keep your fingernails very short as well. Having long fingernails in the kitchen is not appropriate for this line of work. So that might be a small sacrifice to some of you, but it is very much more preferred to have short fingernails that are clean and free of nail polish of any kind, and free of any large jewelry or anything overly dramatic in the kitchen.
Yes, you want to minimize that.
And when in doubt, you can also use gloves. We do use gloves a lot in the kitchen, just from a cleanliness standpoint. But again, we want to be working with our hands as holistic chefs. Plastic we're trying to reduce, waste we're trying to reduce. So we only use them when it's absolutely necessary.
Which is when you have cuts. So if you have cuts on your hands, it is absolutely necessary to wear a Band-Aid and either a finger cot. I always call them finger condoms.
Whatever works.
The finger cots, you know what
protection.
I mean. Or a glove. So you can't have contact with the food and the Band-Aid, or the food and your cut. So make sure you're properly suiting yourself up. Separation from any cut from the food that you're preparing. So again, that might be wearing a glove, or you can buy little cots to just wear on singular fingers. So just be forewarned of that and be careful. Yeah.
What next?
Last, I guess, well, maybe not last, but one of the things we do need to consider always, very important, is our footwear. We're standing on our feet all day as a chef, and so not only do you want it to be very comfortable, you also need to make sure that they don't slip. That would probably be one of the biggest things. I have a pair that I love, which we can show you in a minute. Do you have a pair that you love, or are you still searching?
it's a little bit interesting because I actually work in clients' homes often, wearing the footwear that I would wear in our dirty kitchen, commercial kitchen. I mean our
the floors are more dirty.
There's food everywhere. My clients' kitchens, homes are, they're pristine. They're very they're well kept. Whereas when it comes to our professional kitchen, I say dirty because it gets to be a little bit of a mess during the day, and then obviously we clean it later on in that night. However, in cooking in clients' homes, a lot of them don't want obviously outdoor shoes of any kind or dirty shoes worn in there. So I've had one client buy me a pair of slippers that I cook in. I have another pair that I wear that are just more of an indoor running shoe where they don't go outside at all. You can get shoes like Dana has here that are professional style kitchen shoes. They're like a clog, and they're really good for if you drop a knife or something. They're not going to hurt your feet. The reason that we want to have footwear, appropriate footwear on, is because if you drop a knife, if you drop something hot, the idea is to be protected. It's the same reason that we don't really wear shorts in the kitchen, and it's all just about safety and keeping yourself free of harm. So
non-slip, that's the other thing.
Non-slip is a good one too. Even in my clients' homes, I've gotten rid of some of the rugs that they've had in their kitchens just because they were quite slippery. And then obviously watching water on the floor when you start cooking, using things like bowls or plates to make sure that water isn't getting all over the floor.
And then in terms of footwear, also just making sure that they're breathable. I find that a few of the like cheaper shoes tend to make your feet really hot. So it is better to just invest in a really good pair. You won't regret it.
Either way, just make sure they're appropriate for whatever environment that you're working in. No slip-on, slip-off shoes, no sandals of any kind, no open toe anything, and for heaven's sake, no bare feet. No bare feet. We are working in a professional kitchen. So even if you are working in a home style kitchen, the attitude and the mentality is, what would I be doing in a commercial space? What would I be doing if I was working in a restaurant? So that's pretty much our attire from head to toe. And the next thing would be how we set ourselves up in terms of cleanliness, safety, and efficiency. So first things first, you walk into either your client's home or your kitchen space of any kind, you want to sanitize the space. Even if you were there the night before and nothing got used in the meantime, you want to disinfect the entire area that you're going to be working on with a bleach solution.
So you can just spray that all over your working areas, and then give it a nice wipe with a clean towel. Making sure you bring your own towels into your client's home is also suggested, especially because I actually had this before where I by accident got bleach on my client's beautiful towels and I felt really bad. So just make sure to bring your own clean towels. So wiping it down, and then what? Then we want to get our clean cutting boards.
Clean cutting boards. If they don't happen, so cutting boards come in all different shapes and sizes and varieties. If they don't happen to have these non-stick little sliders on them like this one does, you want to make sure that you have something underneath it, like a cloth or even a piece of paper towel that's slightly wet, so that when you put down your board, that it is non-slippery. So that is a number one thing that I see even with people that have wood cutting boards. They're slipping all over the table. Make sure that you put something underneath it to avoid it moving around on you and then the knife slipping and cutting yourself or anything like that. In terms of efficiency, the next thing is just having everything that you need for your day in front of you, or for that portion of the day in front of you. We really like to have little bowls like this for putting our ingredients in. Let's say you've got onions and carrots and celery to tackle first. This just allows us to stay organized and doesn't require us to actually move from our station. The less that you move from your station, the faster your day is going to go. If you had to look at an 8-hour workday, and if you had to realize that every time you stepped into that back corner, it was 10 steps and 30 seconds, and you added that up over the day, you would be wasting a lot of time in your day. So the more mise en place or organized you are at one time, the more efficient you're going to be in your day to day.
So also that means having tasting spoons nearby, always.
And again, it's a cleanliness thing, especially everything with going on with the pandemic. We want to be extra cautious using tasting spoons and having them nearby. Speaking also of safety, in terms of knife transportation and moving from one place to another, because we are most likely going to be cooking from a variety of different kitchens, is using a sleeve of some kind to carry your your knife in, or like Dana's got here, a carrying case or a bag of some kind that keeps things very safe and out of your way.
Yeah, and even with the knife roll, I find it is even better to have both
together,
because sometimes what can happen with the knife roll is it can slide out.
Yeah.
So it is better to just do both, I find.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, the safer, the better, to be completely honest. In terms of our kitchen setup too, even though we have a lot of tools that we love, one from a safety measure is carrying around a really good thermometer. This is called a ThermaPen. We have used a lot of digital thermometers, but this one is by far the best. It is, we'll talk about it in equipment, but it is about $200, so it is a little bit of an investment, but you will go through 5 $80 ones or $100 ones for the cost of just one $200 one. So we put a seal of approval on the ThermaPen brand and highly recommend that you get one yourself. It is great for baking and also any meat or fish preparation.
It's waterproof too.
It is waterproof.
Yeah, and a lot of them are not.
Yeah, the problems that I've had with any of the $100 ones are that they did eventually get water in them and they broke in the end. So that's it. Well, that essentially wraps up our how to prepare ourselves for being in the kitchen. Everything from this point on is going to be discussed in future lessons, but really this is a chance for you to embrace the alter ego piece around being just super prepared for your day and ready to rock your experience in the kitchen.